जिंदाबाद जिंदाबाद हमारी लड़ाई जिंदाबाद 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 इनकलाबो इनकलाबो इनकलाब जिंदाबाद 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 इनकलाबो इनकलाबो जिंदाबाद 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 of Kranti जय भीम जय भीम
Sanjo, so I want to talk to you about the Transgenders Amendment Bill. There has been a widespread protest and criticism of the bill from members of the community. After the bill was passed, NCTP members, Rituparna Neo, Kalki Subramaniam and many others have resigned. And there has been a backlash from the community after the passing of the bill. Can you just tell us in brief what is the exact problem with the bill? Why is the community protesting and condemning the bill?
Actually, the problem is everywhere, and the core thing is that the bill is nullifying the NALSA judgment. So actually, the bill came 2019 behalf of NALSA. So NALSA judgment is saying that the transgender people who have the right to self-identified identity, so self-declared identity. So the bill is denying self-declared identity.
Yeah.
Like that, the terminology, the transgender term is an umbrella term from the 2019 bill. As the terminology is that they are containing the transgender, those who are the people as the different from their assigned sex.
Yes.
And it includes the people trans man, trans woman, intersex people, gender non-binary, gender fluid, culture, social culture identities like Kijra, Hinnara, like that. And now the term is redefined like that. They are only including the socio-cultural transgender people and intersex. Actually, the controversy is that the intersex is a sex, it is not a gender. Then the people, those who have defined this bill, is think that the gender and sex is same.
Correct.
And the people, those who have self-declared as a trans man, trans woman, non-binary, those who are, is excluded from this bill. That is the actual problem with this bill. So those who have excluded this bill, they are now illegal people.
Correct.
They are not going to get any kind of legal protection, or whatever their rights is denied. Actually, it is denied the human rights and the fundamental rights.
And basically, this is a right which has been recognized by the Supreme Court in NALSA versus Union of India in 2014. And the Supreme Court basically read the Yogyakata principles, that there is a right to self-determine gender. It rejected biological tests. It said, gender is to be determined by a person's self-perception.
Yes.
Gender is self-perceived, and therefore there's a right to self-determination of gender.
Yes.
And the 2019 Act basically legitimized it in a legislation as a statutory right, and gave benefits and an identity card based on self-declared gender. Now the problem is, as you pointed out, they have included congenital variations, which is a sly reference to intersex people, persons born with intersex variations. And in the 2019 Act, there was a definition which has been removed. So why has the intersex community been merged with the transgender definition? So in the earlier Act also, they were getting benefits. But why is it so that their separate legal identity, the definition, has been removed?
Yeah, I think that is there is a kind of I don't know what is the actual thing is going on, because they are not consulted anyone to before passing this bill. So there is a national council, so they can refer the people, those who know about the things. I don't think that there is enough consultation take places. That's why they are including, disincluding this kind of scenario take places. That's why we ask that the intersex is a sex. Then why it is also is in the transgender umbrella is that the sex and identity, self-defined identity is different. That's why they are included in the transgender umbrella.
Correct.
and the people who think that the intersex people are the transgender peoples. There is a confusion between the transgender is an intersex one. So, like the same scenario is happening in the bill also. That's why they think that the real transgender and the non-real transgender. So they think that the intersex persons are real transgender, the cultural ones are real transgenders, and other persons are imitating or something else.
Yeah. Actually, I want to come to that. So I was listening to the debates in the Lok Sabha and the Rajya Sabha, and the string of common argument that I could find out was that there is a sense of protecting the real transgenders.
Yeah.
You know, that there are social communities
Yes.
which are marginalized, which actually require that the government comes in and provides, and there are going to be people who are going to come in the form of who are going to legitimize themselves as transgenders and take away reservations if the government were to bring in.
Yeah.
So how tenable is that argument? I want to ask you, and where is this argument actually faltering?
That is the thing. The thing is that is basically is a uh, lack of studies. It comes from the lack of studies and lack of knowledge. The real knowledge is given the path to the real things. The actually I don't know which the people is came to the stand like this. Actually, I have so many doubts on that. They are given the actual groundwork for that because it is affecting the many peoples, like those who have came out and live in the society from the after passing the Nalsa judgment. So freely come out because we are existing before that. Then also we came out like a trans persons, came out like a intersex persons, non-binary person, gender fluid persons. So after we passing the Nalsa is 24, that is 10 years past. After the 12th years, they are introducing the bill to deny all the rights given by the Nalsa. So that is there is a no ground study, there is a no enough understanding to pass this bill. I am understanding that. So so-called cultural community as only the transgender, they are identifying like that only. So why it is that? I am believing that this is a kind of scenarios in putting in Indian context that is happening globally. So what is done by America? So America banned the transgender people, and they told that we are only two. That is a binary, male and female. The same scenario after so much time we can see in Russia also. Then we can see in this bill. So what we are seeing is that they are not limiting to two because of the cultural things. Cultural things means the Hindutva calling so-called Hindutva as some kind of a belief, all kind of things. They cannot touch that.
Yes.
Actually, the thing is that they cannot touch them, so that they are pleasing somebody. They are pleasing somebody for something. That's why they denied us. I'm understanding that. And also another kind of might have some question is that they want to try to try to the people to deviate their knowledge or their attention to another things. The real scenarios, you know that there so many scenarios goes on, like war is going on. We are lack of LPG, the fuels and all. So the people's eye or people's think have to be divorced, simply divorced to something.
So what you're saying is we have to situate this bill within a global backsliding
Yes.
on transgender rights, and
Yeah.
also the fact that the trans community is being used as a pawn
Yeah.
to divert
Yes.
the country from greater issues.
Yes.
And in effect, by taking away the rights of the trans people,
Yeah.
you are creating a facade
Yes.
that that the community will be involved in it, the national use will
Yes.
be involved in it. People will not ask greater questions. Is
Yes.
what I can understand.
Yes. That is the thing.
That's a fair point. But coming to the bill, I want to ask another question, and that is on the medical board that has been introduced. So earlier, my understanding is you can get a transgender card from the district magistrate after having a self-declared affidavit of your own gender, affirming your gender. Now they are saying that you have to have a medical approval, and even after that, if the DM is not satisfied, he can seek assistance from medical experts, and those other medical experts have not been defined within the bill. So I want to talk a little about the already existing route
Yeah.
and how efficient was the route, already existing route, and what the medical filtration system, as I would call it, actually does.
That's the thing. The problem itself is there because we have to be make a affidavit and file to a district magistrate to identify as a transgender. So they are given the permission to a legal transgender. That is the thing. They are giving the legality to the transgender. The thing is more complicated when it comes to the bill. That is not only a self-declaration, not only affidavit cannot determine you are a transgender. So we give the certificate like that when your gender is certified by the DMO. It's a medical practitioner who is in charge of that. They're saying that they try to support. Yesterday, minister is saying that they try to support the legislator. The magistrate to identifying the real one, not the fake. That is the thing. Real and fake things. So they will assist you or support you to find the real transgender. And I'm asking you that how you can find a person or a professional doctors or somebody who is understanding what is a transgender. Then what is the eligibility for that? which which one has the eligibility to that, which will do that, then who is only the MBBS or another degree, or what is the criteria for that? How you identify? Like they are saying like the intersex variations, and I'm asking you that the question the socio-cultural society is also under the protection of this bill, so they are also applying for these things, then the doctors came to identify your social cultural identity. So let me check, you are a real transgender. This is the scenario. Then what is the definition? How will the doctor find a transgender?
Correct.
There won't be any kind of regulations or any kind of guidelines to identify who is a transgender.
So what I understand is you're saying that it also somehow mandates sex or gender reaffirming surgeries,
Yeah.
and people would be forced to undergo surgeries so as to get the approval of the medical board and get the certificate. So you're pushing people towards medical
They are
surgeries.
not actually disclosing that also.
Hmm.
Then which all are come for? Then what all are the things we have to do for? It's for a real transgender.
Hmm.
At which kind of medical interventions we have to go through, and who will certify it? What is their qualification to certify it?
Hmm. So basically, what is happening is you're taking the right of self-determination away. You're saying you don't know what you are, but I'll tell you. I'll find out whether you are what you are. What you say. What you
Then we know that intersex person can be identified by the blood test or the hormonal changes level test, and all. There is some criteria there.
Yeah.
Then I am asking you, how you find the cultural society like Hijra, Kinnara? How will you identify them? Then their surgeries, they are trying to put. I'm doubting that there is a procedure called Nirvana for the socio-cultural things. They are putting the peoples to do that. I'm confused to do that. The society, like the medical society is
Can
gone.
you talk a little about Nirvana?
Nirvana is the things, the procedures followed by the cultural transgender people, the so-called the cultural people, cultural identities like a Hijra, Kinnara and all. So it is performing like their beliefs or their religious things. Religious means their cultural things, and it is done before lot of time, far before the time, because after this the medical side is what we call medical side is now so upgraded to do the surgeries.
So these are this is basically you're talking about these are castrations
Yeah,
which are
castration.
not medicalized.
Yeah, medicalized. That is.
Okay.
Then now we have the medical system to perform the sex reassignment surgeries or gender affirming surgeries. So that what is the criteria? I'm not know that what they are setting for the criteria. Medical intervention means a surgery or the transition HRT, the hormone therapy, or the laser therapy, or something as a GID. What kind of therapy they are demanding? Then what is the criteria they are going to put? there is an act and rule also. Then what kind of rule these people are going to make? That is really the threat going to be.
So you actually bring out a very fair point, because I feel it is a chicken and egg situation.
Yes.
That to be a transgender, you need some sort of medical intervention.
Yeah.
Firstly,
Yeah.
and in the previous act, you could simply, the state had an obligation to provide you that.
Yes.
Through subsidized rates or
Yeah.
whatever. And now the state will not provide you that unless you have a certificate. And how do you prove that you are a transgender without having a medical intervention through this bill in the first place? So it's a chicken and egg situation.
Yes.
You're forced to go and spend a lot of money, which a lot of people might not have.
Yes.
And you are forced to spend money. You're forced to go through the dehumanizing medical inspection.
Yes.
And then finally get the approval of the DM. And on the satisfaction of the DM, you prove that you are a transgender. So it's a bill that introduces suspicion into the lives of thousands of transgenders.
Yes, definitely. To add two more point is that the medical intervention you told, no, that lot of money is spending.
Yeah.
So you imagine there can be a kind of factors. If I doesn't have a money, I have a little bit of money. So one person came to me and saying that there is a doctor who will do in little discount and actually you think that they are not a real practice.
Yeah.
What will happen to our life? There is actually the bill is just pushed us to a
Margins.
like a scenarios can be exploitations happen.
Correct. So it's basically forcing transgender people to go through backdoor routes, which are not safe, which are not medically fit.
Yeah.
And it's coercing them to undergo these surgeries through cheaper routes, through non-medical routes.
Yes.
And which are also life-threatening.
Yes, definitely.
I want to move on to the penal provisions and Section 18, and there have been some interesting additions to the section, and a lot of criticism has already been done. So my only instinct is, my reading is that it goes back to the intent of the Criminal Tribes Act.
Yes.
I want to understand what you have to say about that.
Actually, the thing is that you can clearly see the differences. That is, one person is attack a trans person can give 6 months to 2 years up to 15,000. That's fine. And you can see that a person who's supporting us is what a friend or some fellow, is that the label is putting that you are convincing them and you are creating a transgender. So you are forced to become a transgender. That is the thing. If you are forcing a person to become a transgender, if you are supporting a person, is the same. They are meaning as the same thing. Because I'm wondering that if I suppose I am forcing a person, then he become a transgender. Yeah, it is possible thing, because we are know that who I am, and you think that I am forcing you to become who. From the morning to evening, I am saying that you are a transgender. You are a transgender. It can be happen. No, it cannot be. So they are penalizing these things in the name of that you cannot support your friend or your fellow. It is point out the CBOs, community-based organization, NGOs, that you cannot interfere in the matters of transgenders, because if you interfere in it, you will be put in. We will penalize you. We will put in the lifetime imprisonment and up to 5 lakh rupees. So that there is a threat. And the minister yesterday told that the country needs children. The country's future is upon the children, and we will try to protect our children to become a transgender.
From becoming a transgender.
Yeah, becoming a transgender, because that they think that a transgender is a person who doesn't have an ability.
There is no consent involved.
Yes.
So if you read the statement of objects and reason, and I know you have very well read it also.
Yes.
It says explicitly that, for people who are born and people who are like that of no fault of their own.
Yeah.
So you are essentially saying that people who are either born, transgenders are born, transgenders are coerced into this identity. Nobody would actually choose being a transgender. Is what the intent is.
Yes.
So what happens after? Because there's also a clause which says that the identity will not be recognized from the point of the 2019 Act and the date since the certificates were issued. So it's going back actually, and it's actually amending the definition from 2019 onwards.
Yes.
So what will happen? What's going to happen? What are the bureaucratic problems? And transgender people have already been facing so many bureaucratic hurdles in getting their certificates. What will happen? What are the operational issues? And how are we as a community going to fight it?
Yeah, actually the thing is that then there is a rule will come. That rule will define what we have to do
Yes.
to get these certificates, and that can be a real threat. So that what kind of the provisions of 6, 7 as giving the identity card of a 4, so it will be changed, and we have to go for a medical intervention. Is our medical system is enough equipped to do that? That is one question. And how we do that? Then the like which hospital have to be
Correct.
and is the hospital is enough infrastructure to do that?
Yeah. And the other issue is, how often would the medical board be convened? And whether doctors will go into surgeries and OPDs and their regular course of work, or they'll sit in the medical board and keep examining.
Yeah.
Because people will keep applying.
Yes.
That means that the piling up
Yeah.
of these applications will actually increase.
Yes.
And the time that takes in issuing the certificate will also increase.
Yes.
And it's going to create a backlog,
Yeah.
for sure, and a huge pressure on the bureaucratic system which is already there.
Yes.
And my only final question to you is, what is the way ahead?
We are born in this country, so we have to fight because we are existed over here. It's not in the bill.
Yeah.
We are the real persons. We are existing over here, and we are not going to suicide, and we are not going like simply sitting like we won't. We will protest. We will definitely what all the measures we can do. We will together. We will go for that, and that is the future situation is going to come, and there will be some kind of mitigation to do this. Then whichever the happen, we will go for that. Definitely, we will go for fight with Supreme Court or the legal system what is giving, and our belief in the Constitution. The Constitutions give the right to us. We are believing Constitution and the Supreme Court also.
Yes. And the Constitution believes in you. So thank you so much, Sanjo.